Welcome to Dad's DeFi Space. I'm Kevin, and I'm so grateful that you took a moment out of your day to spend it with me. Today, we are going to answer the question, how do we know where to provide liquidity? How do we know where to participate in the DeFi ecosystems? We're going to discuss that in this video. So before we begin, please like and subscribe, ping that notification bell, and check out our links below, especially our webpage, dadsdefispace.org, and find me over on X, CryptoZone1013, and Telegram, DadDeFi1013. We are going to discuss how do we know which chains are going to have the most volume? Where are the traders exchanging their tokens? Because that is how we make money in this game. The passive income that we can make on our cryptocurrencies comes from swaps on decentralized exchanges. These DEXs, which are permissionless, immutable, if we as DeFi investors and researchers can find the chains that the most volume is available, that is where we're going to have the biggest potential to make the most fees. And there is no website out there better to research information like this in the DeFi space than none. Look no further than DeFiLlama. Now, DeFiLlama, we've made videos on before. There's so much great information. A trader, a crypto investor, a DeFi enthusiast like myself can find excellent data and real-time information to make informed decisions in this space. Now, before we get any farther, remember, none of this in this video today is financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. I'm just a dad who likes to play around in this DeFi space. Crypto and DeFi are extremely risky. You can lose all your money. So right now we are on the main page of DeFiLlama, and you can see that there is around $93 billion locked on all the different chains that DeFiLlama looks at. And just real briefly, if you take a look over to the right, you can see the information divided up into many, many different categories. You can compare chains. They have an airdrop section. You can look at oracles, the top protocols within different chains. You can compare protocols, token usage. They have a yield section where we can look at lending and liquidity positions, yield farming, and many, many other aspects. Now, another thing I do like to look on here is checking out volumes within different protocols, and down here, liquidations. They have a lot of good liquidation maps where you can get an idea of if the traders out there are over leveraged, which in the crypto space they usually are. And we know that the big whales, they like to collect that liquidity when we get over leveraged in this space, something to be extremely aware of. What we're going to look at today is what I would do to determine where's liquidity going in the DeFi space. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on chains. We are going to look at all the different chains that exist within the DeFi space. Now, looking here, you can see the chain with the most value lock, obviously, as Ethereum at $49 billion, working towards 50. And do understand that total value locks, volumes, all of that is on the downside because crypto has been in a massive downtrend really since the inauguration, but it hasn't been looking pretty today. Also, if you look even closer, what do we have here? We have Salana at 6.6 billion. We have BNB 5.2, Tron a hefty 4.68 billion. You got Base 2.69, and you got a new player in the streets, Barachain, at 3.4. And this has happened in such a short amount of time. We're going to discuss this and the why a little bit later in the video. Now, before we go any farther, I wanted to make you aware, if you really want to up your DeFi game, please check out Dad's DeFi Space, free articles, a free course. And if you really want to up your DeFi game, check out Crypto Labs Research in the upper right-hand corner of the screen, the Underdog Investment Group. The best DeFi community in this space, 1,500 like members who support each other in their journeys. Some of the most intense and in-depth educational courses. And of course, they have other options like their one-on-one fast track program and accelerator programs. And please let them know that Dad's DeFi Space, Kevin, sent you. That is where I have educated myself and increased my skill set in this space. But let's get back to talking about different chains and the DeFi space. Scrolling down here, you can see the top chains, as we were saying, are Ethereum, Salana, BNB, Tron, Barachain. Base at 7. Barachain actually has more total value locked than Base right now. Arbitrum Network, Sway, Avalanche, Aptos, Sonic at number 12. Sonic used to be Phantom last cycle. They have done a complete rebranding. Polygon, the Core, which is a Bitcoin protocol, and OP, or Optimism Network. Now, obviously, wherever you're going to find the greatest total value lock with the healthiest amount of volume, that's where we're going to collect the greatest fees. And the big daddy in this space is Ethereum. If you look here, you can also see that Ethereum has the greatest number of protocols in this space at 1317. Okay. Now, Salana, we're sitting at 208. If we go down to Base, 481, pretty active chain for its size. And there's so much more information you can look at to make informed decisions in this space. Now, for the next part of this video, I would like to discuss some of the metrics that I would choose to look at if I was researching different chains in the space. Now, if you screenshot and zoom in, you'll be able to see this information probably a little better on your screen. But I wanted to tell you some of the metrics that I like to look at when I'm doing chain research. So first, we're always going to take a look at active addresses. This just tells us how many addresses on the blockchain are actually performing swaps, doing participating in DeFi, bridging assets. Maybe they're into the gaming space, but they are participating in the network and adding to the transaction volume. Now, the next here, 1 day change, 7 day change, 1 minute change. I'm not really a big fan of the 1 minute change, but this 1 day and 7 day change, we're actually looking at what is the change in activity on that network in a percentage. Like you can look here and see that almost every chain, minus this one here, he must be something new, is in the red. And that's to be expected when the market is as down as much as it is right now. So that's not something I'm per se concerned about. We also like to take a look at the DeFi total value locked. As you can see, Ethereum right here at 49 billion has everyone handily beat. We also look at sometimes the amount of stablecoins. Now, this is an excellent metric to look at because if you were seeing the amount of stablecoins increase on a chain over the near term, that may tell us that there might be a lot of activity about to come, which usually can translate into price appreciation, sometimes price depreciation. But when we are liquidity providers, it doesn't matter which way the market is going because we are going to collect fees either way in the market. You can also look at the DEX volume, the chain fees within that time, and we can sort this information however we want to. So, for example, let's say I want to take a look at the DeFi total value locked. We look here, we can see the top two big boys as Ethereum and Salana. But if we see something where we're starting to see a heavy 7-day chain, it's like Barachain over the last 7 days has increased activity by 10.2%. At the same time, their DeFi total value lock is 3.2 billion. So having an increase of that and a pretty high DeFi total value lock, that can be very positive. Now, of course, none of this information paints a full picture. There are many people out there that believe, people are kind of earning yield off their bearer airdrops or kind of the early involvement of the chain. So I'd like to see if the activity on Barachain is sustainable throughout the rest of the bull run. But I got my hopes up. This is why we have been considering possibly providing liquidity on Barachain, although we haven't done so at this point. So at Dad's DeFi Space, we like to be completely transparent with our moves and things that we do within this space. That's something I pride myself on. And if you have any questions, just let me know in the comments, shoot me an email, or check me out on dadsdefispace.org. Now, the stablecoins, we can actually, let me show you. We're going to go look at Ethereum. Now, this is going to give us a lot more very specific data on that chain. So, for example, the stablecoin market cap on Ethereum right now is $125 billion, right? The 7-day change is 1.29%, and it gives us the dominance and the chain activity and all this other information. This is excellent information where we can look at to kind of determine the activity on the chain. If the activity is increasing, a lot of times that means we can provide liquidity and earn more fees. Or if you want to establish a DeFi lending position, you're going to get better APR rates. So let's take a look at just a couple more chains before we end the video today. But next, we're going to take a look at the used to be darling of this cycle, Salana. And we can take a look at the weekly value. And what do you notice here on the chart? You can definitely see the bear market right here in the bottom where there was like almost no chain activity. And we amp back up. Where did we peak out? Let's check that. I bet you it'll align almost directly with inauguration. And yes, it does at January 19th when everybody was trading that Trump token. So this doesn't predict the future, but with proper data and proper research, we can make better and more informed decisions of what chains we should be participating in. And for a video in the future, we can look at other aspects of this on-chain data that we can use to make better DeFi decisions, such as going into specific liquidity pools and lending positions, or looking at more metrics on the blockchain. So I hope this video today was informative and that you learned just a little bit more in the DeFi space. This was just kind of an introduction to chain research in the DeFi space. But I hope you've taken something from here that you can use in your own DeFi journey and investing journey. If you liked the content, please consider liking and subscribing to the video. Check us out again at dadsdefispace.org, Underdog Investment Group, Tangent, up to $30,000 at USDT rewards on weeks. Help support the channel. And I'll see you on the next video. Until next time, peace.